Hello everybody, how's it going? Ever since I started this channel about a year ago, I got a lot of comments asking about my transmog, so I thought I would share it with all of you and also show you some optional items, mounts, toys and whatever could be interesting in a Garrosh themed transmog. If you want to go for a Garrosh inspired transmog, you should definitely play as a Makar orc, not only because Garrosh was a Makar, but also because the heritage armor has some really good pieces to put the transmog together. The most important part are definitely the shoulders, the tusks of Manowar. You will probably know this already, but these shoulders are not easy to get. You can get them from Garrosh in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid on heroic or mythic difficulty, and one of my first videos on this channel was actually about how to obtain them, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. For the hands, my best choice is the red version of the heritage armor. In case you didn't know, the heritage armor of the Makar exists in 3 different colors for the Warsong, Frostwolf and Blackrock clan. The waist, legs and feet can be taken from the Blackrock clan version of the heritage armor. As a weapon, the most obvious choice is Gorhowl, which you can get from Prince Malchezaar, the final boss of the Karazhan raid. And yeah, this is my personal basic set. However, I do have some other pieces I sometimes use. For the legs you can also use the Stitched Harbinger Greaves, which you can get from the Abomination Factory, the Covenant feature of Maldraxxus. It takes a lot of time to get them, but I think they look pretty great with the little spikes, and color-wise they are also very fitting as well. Another pair of legs which I really like are the normal difficulty legs that you can get from the Castle Nafria raid. The brown of the legs fits very well with the color of the belt and boots, the fur fits with the belt and gloves, and the metal parts fits perfectly with the metal parts on the white glove. If you think the weapon looks too outdated, because let's be honest, it does, I can recommend you the Fury Warrior Hidden Artifact appearance, which looks basically like Gorhowl but with some dragon skulls and bones added to it. In case during the winter you want to go for a more fitting look, you can also use the chest piece of the Castle Nafria normal raid, together with a fitting cloak like the Quillstitch Great Cloak for example, which you can get from the Weremob Quillred Matriarch in Dwastra, and perhaps even a finely tailored Red Holiday hat. There are also some toys you might want to use. For example the PvP pennants which you unlock at certain honor levels, or the Horde War banner which you can buy for 10 Nazjatar battle commendations from the NPC Dazarian in Nazjatar. The battle commendations are gained by killing weremobs in Nazjatar while war mode on. As a fitting ground mount I have always preferred the Vicious Warwolf, which you can get by doing raided PvP. For those of you who don't like to play with other people, in Dragonflight there will be a raided solo shuffle mode where you can play with randoms, and once you have earned a Vicious Saddle, you can buy the mount in Orgrimmar. As a flying mount, I always like the Warrior Order Hall mount, but since we will mainly use the Dragon Riding mount in Dragonflight, I am not quite sure which one will be my favorite, but I think you should decide that for yourself. If you want to put together a Garrosh transmog, of course you can do your own little changes. This video is more meant as a little help and inspiration, and since some people asked for it, I decided to simply show it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, see ya!